What's going on, everybody? Josh Wickens with Art and Pain Media here. So I know it's been quite some time since I've made a video or released a video, but I had some downtime, so I figured it was finally time to release my Cold Shoulder interview. I interviewed Cold Shoulder way back in, I think it was June, when they were playing with Bar Down and Orthodox, killer show. But I had the time to sit down with Mike and Geoff and talk about all things Cold Shoulder. We talked about, how it felt to sign to Safe Inside Records. We talked about the latest tour that they were on at the time, with Short Leash, I believe it was. We talked about the state of Toronto hardcore. We just talked about a little bit of everything, and it was a fantastic interview. Cold Shoulder is a fantastic band that's been doing some pretty big things. They're getting on some great festivals. They're playing some big time shows. They're touring relentlessly. Just some great dudes making some great tunes. So let's just get to the interview. I apologize again for the not so great cinematography. This is the last one I'm doing without filming actual footage of the interview. So yeah, let's just get to this interview. It was just a great time. I thank you again to Cold Shoulder for, kind of letting me invade your bus a little bit and ask you some questions. Sorry it took so long to get the video out, but yeah, it's finally here. Let's just get to the Cold Shoulder interview. We'll see y'all soon. Okay, so Cold Shoulder, 2-part out of 4 of Cold Shoulder. Great set. First off, yes. And first thing off the hop, congrats on signing with Safe Inside.
Thank you.
That's some pretty big shit right there. I'm just curious, how that came about. Kind of seemed like it was a match made in heaven for you guys from that article that you released when you released the signing.
Do you know?
Yeah, what was that article? Who the fuck did we?
No Echo.
No Echo.
Right. Yeah. So we answered some of these questions. Okay. So yeah, I'll tackle this one. Basically, so we've been touring the States pretty heavily for 3-ish or 4-ish years now, and I don't know, just some of the bands that we've managed to share the stage with in that time. A handful of them have been working with Safe Inside, so we kind of found out about Bert and what he's been doing through bands like Peace of Mind is probably the biggest one, honestly. They've been friends of ours for a while, and they're an amazing band. So we knew about Safe Inside through them, and there's some other mutual connections like Clear Focus and Time and Pressure, and probably a bunch of other people that I'm forgetting the names of, but just American hardcore bands that we've played with, basically. So we found out about the label through, these bands, and I guess Bert heard about us from
various
us
tours.
all, consistently playing with bands on his label. And yeah, I guess he took a liking to, I don't know, I guess our music, I can only imagine.
Hopefully it was the music, yeah.
So. Yeah, supposedly he kind of asked, some mutual connections, some people who knew us as people.
Interesting.
And he got good feedback, which is nice.
It's interesting that he did his research before he was just contacting you guys. He was going to other people being like, tell me about, these boys.
Yeah, that felt really good.
Yeah. You're getting scouted,
But he cared
right?
enough.
Yeah,
for sure. Well, yeah, I mean, you don't want to commit to a band and then find out that they're dinks secretly. Because, sometimes you don't find out until years later.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, they just play the act, right? They're just like, oh, I'm just going to act this way, get that record, and then...
There's an example from Safe Inside, but we won't talk about them.
Yeah.
So
Formerly.
He's had some bad experience. Hopefully we're going to be one of the good experiences that works out. But yeah, I like to think that Cold Shoulder has kind of built a reputation of being nice guys.
The nice Canadian boys.
I
Boys in the States, right?
I can't take any credit for that personally. I'll give that to Adam and Ryan and Mike. But, so it's worked out for us in our favor. So
That's pretty sweet. You guys are the only Canadian band on the label?
No, Stepping Stone is now signed.
They just got signed to them recently too, right? Yeah.
Amazing band.
Yeah, I checked them out when they got signed. Yeah, it was pretty tight, man.
Unreal Form is unreal.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to give it a deeper listen, but I checked out one song when they when Safe Inside said that they signed them and everything, right? Yeah, they were pretty tight, man. They were pretty tight. So next question, explain your guys' emotions and thought process on being mentioned in Alt Press's top 20 hardcore bands to hear. That's some pretty intense stuff. We were talking about that a bit.
Yeah, to me that's wild because I grew up you know,
Everyone-
you're a teenager,
yeah.
you see it on the newsstands or whatever at like Chapters and whatever, and you're picking up that like.
And you're in it.
And now, like, well, yeah, we're not in the actual magazine, but to be like listed with bands that I'm currently listening to right now.
Because that list was good. That list of 20
Mouth
was.
Breather, Wrist Meat Razor, fucking Sea Space.
Yeah,
Cowboy,
Jesus Peace, yeah, Miners was on there, yeah, Sanction, yeah.
Those are all bands that I'm currently listening
Yeah,
to
same.
all the time. So to even be considered, and like we weren't approached about that or anything, it just
Yeah.
happened, and people.
You
were
guys
like,
saw
Yo,
it
you
when
guys
we
are
saw
here.
it, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So
That's
like, people
amazing.
hit me up, and I was like, yo, what the hell?
Yeah.
So that's a crazy
It's
feeling.
almost surreal, right? It's like you're doing this because you want to get
Well, yeah,
there,
it
right? But then it
means-
actually happens, and it's just.
It means that degree sitting in my back pocket needs to sit there for a little while because I think this might be working.
Yeah, absolutely, right? And it's the hustle, too, right? Like, you guys, you're always playing shows, you know, you're always doing
Doing our
something,
best.
you're making moves, right? And I find some bands just stay a little stagnant.
It's very easy when you're a Canadian to
Yeah.
just, I don't know, stay exactly what
Fall
you
in
said,
line, right?
stagnant.
Yeah.
And, like you just end up jamming and playing only Toronto
Yep.
forever, and
Yep.
nobody cares.
I know guys
mean-
that only play their hometown, I think they said 5 times a year, and that's it. They
Some
won't do
might-
more than that.
Exactly.
Yeah, well, realistically, like a lot of people have to work full time just to kind of meet their basic needs, and
Oh, yeah.
the four of us are pretty lucky that we have situations that allow us to take time off and still have roofs over our heads.
Yeah.
You know,
Exactly.
a lot of
Very
people
much so.
have to choose between
Work
you know,
life and band
touring
life.
or having your shit together.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
barely have our shit together back home, but we've managed
We're
to
trying
strike a
to
very,
trying to
very
make it work.
But once you get on the road,
balance.
too, it's kind of just like you're in the zone, right?
Literally,
So-
yeah. Like I mean, save like a few times when it's like really rough out there, money's short. It does feel really good to be out there and doing this for real
Yeah.
instead of, you know, just
Working in a factory or
Yeah.
like, you know, at McDonald's or something. Not
Exactly.
saying that that's bad, but
No,
like
no,
it's
I
just
mean, anything that pays the
it's not where you
bills.
want to be, right?
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
So,
Like
yeah, touring at least gives you a break, even if you have to work that shitty job to get by. At
Yeah.
least you have like the 2 weeks out of a year or whatever.
Yeah.
you know. For us, it's more than that.
oh
Like,
yeah, you
it's
guys
very
are
lucky, but-
yeah, we'll get to that in a bit, but yeah, tour goddamn warriors. Like
I wouldn't say that.
you guys toured quite
There
a
were
bit.
2
There was
years where
was a
we were
couple
doing
years.
yeah.
2 years where we were doing like 2 weeks on, a week off,
Yeah,
2 weeks
that's
on,
that's
a week
what I'm
off.
thinking. That's like
So
I know this
still-
year's been a little slow, but
That's been deliberate. We kind of got together at the end of this past year, I guess 2018. Like even in the winter, like right up until like November, December, we were like out on the road, and we were like,
Yeah.
okay, fuck, we all have like laryngitis. None of us can pay our bills, and we need to just like next year, like we went hard this
Focus.
year. Let's just take a break.
Yeah.
Still tour, still be a band, obviously, but like definitely take the winter off and
Absolutely.
not fucking show our faces again until it's warm out, which is what we're doing now. Like,
Canadian
this-
hibernation.
this,
Exactly.
This run down to Florida we've got coming up is really the first major thing we've done this year.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And we decided to do that on purpose so that we could get like our our work lives and our personal lives and our relationships and
Yeah.
all that stuff. Get that stuff back together. Because touring as much as we did definitely takes a lot out of that.
Yeah.
And
You got to
have
recoup
to-
everything, right?
Yeah, you can't burn out. That's
No.
why so many bands break up right when they're starting. It seems like they're starting to take off,
Yeah.
and then they quit because it just
It gets hard,
requires
right?
so much sacrifice.
Yeah, and plus the way where you guys are at now, it kind of allowed you to take that step back because you made that milestone, right? So you
Exactly.
signed that
Yeah.
deal, and they're obviously giving you time to figure out what your next
yeah.
step is because they're in it with you, right?
Yeah,
so it's not
Bert's
like
been really good about not being pushy with us.
well, that's good.
He's like, okay, how much can you guys do?
Yeah.
You know, and yeah, as long
He-
as we're
he gives
still
us
kind of
full
being
control.
active. And doing
Oh, really?
stuff.
So he's letting you guys kind of pick your release dates
Yeah,
and
he's
like stuff
asking
like
us
that.
like what our timeline is, and he's gonna
Beauty.
work around it that way.
Boom.
And we told him, like, I'm pretty sure you
I
coined
mean,
the phrase
ma-
for us. So it's like quality over quantity. over
Absolutely,
quantity. So, like,
absolutely. You want things to be right.
Yeah, it has to be right because the last, I mean, even though we didn't have a label to put it out on, we were always rushing to record, always like Backlash, our last release before the demo.
Yeah.
We were super rushed, and we don't even know why because we were just like touring endlessly, and then
There have been at least a couple times where maybe like we thought we were gonna do a split with some band, and so we had some timeline. We're like, okay, shit, we gotta get it done, and then like it didn't work out.
Yeah.
And we had these songs, like, okay, I guess we'll put them out now, and we ended up having rushed them for no reason.
Would you
And,
guys ever go back and non-rush them?
no.
I'm
I
glad
think
we
it's,
got it put out.
Yeah, I would never go back and change anything. It's just like it's out. Sometimes I cringe at some of the things I've personally written,
Yeah.
but like, it's out there and people
People dig
like
it.
it.
People dig
are
it,
liking
yeah.
it. I'm glad for that.
Yeah.
I'm
And it
glad
is
they're-
fun to get new material out so that you can play new material live, because that's what keeps it interesting for us.
Dwelling on the past is not what we're about.
No.
at
So
all,
you always got to look forward, right?
exactly.
Yeah.
Having said that, with the next stuff, I do kind of want to try to hopefully maybe have us take our time
Yeah.
and just really like fine tune it, because I think that would be really rewarding. It's been a long time. It's been at least a couple of years since we did like a full length album, and so I don't know if we'll do like a full length this time. But going forward, the next thing we're gonna do, I think I definitely want to take some time and do like a substantial collection of songs.
Yeah.
And really kind of make a record that like is, I don't know, made with all the details, fine tuned, and all the songs really like
More focused.
hammered down and tight.
Beauty.
But I mean, that's in the future, and I can, we can't predict exactly what's going to happen. But
Well, unless you make like a set schedule and like a set plan, right? You're kind of just going by, going by the skin of your ear, right? So
it seems like we're always having to plan our summers around like people going to weddings and like important birthdays.
we're all getting older, right? So it's
Yeah,
just
we're
like,
getting that age where all the
Not
friends are
young.
getting married and
Yeah.
having kids, and we've got all these social obligations. That we
and you're like, I just want to record and go tour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So speaking of the tour, how did that tour with Swing Low come about? Like, how did you guys meet? How did the tour come
I
about?
think we met them when we played Snow and Flurry Fest in Fargo, North Dakota, which I
Yeah.
think is their home city.
Yeah, they're from. I looked it up. They are
Yeah.
from Fargo, North Dakota.
I think
Yeah.
they also are like some of the people that behind that fest,
Yeah.
if
so
I'm not mistaken.
they're big out there. We saw their huge crowd response, and then they approached us after we played too, and they loved
Beauty.
us. So
That's awesome.
And they're super, super nice dudes, and we've been really looking to do, because we've done Midwest over and over. We've done
Yeah.
West Coast and drained our wallets on the West Coast because of those
It's
long
so far,
drives.
right? Yeah.
Totally worth it, but we wanted to hit a new avenue.
Yeah,
We
new
wanted to
eyes,
the
new
East
ears,
Coast.
right?
Exactly. And who better to do it than with like really nice dudes who play dope ass beating music.
Yeah.
So
Beauty. That's awesome. So you guys have been a band for a couple years now. Talk a little bit about the maturation of the band, like you guys as musicians, the band in general, just anything, like how you've matured, like your sound.
Give me something specific.
Like say like your sound. Like we were talking a bit about that
Yeah,
before.
okay, I can-
How your sound has kind of changed. How you've kind of honed a sound specifically tailored to Cold Shoulder, not something else.
so.
Well, I can do something specific about that I can mention.
Yeah.
Definitely is that when we started, yeah, I know Adam just kind of hit me up. But when we started jamming, we didn't really know what we wanted the band to be, and I don't know. I feel like maybe I had this idea of what Adam and Ryan wanted to do, and I was sort of trying to cater to that, and maybe limiting myself. And for the first year or so of our band, we actually had a second guitarist,
Yeah.
and so that had a huge impact on how we write. Because for one, Mitch, the second guitarist at the time, he was also really creative, and so he would bring a lot of ideas to the table. So, and also the music, like writing hardcore for two guitars versus one is really different, because with two guitars, you're going to have like lead parts and,
Yep.
and things like that. There's a lot more room for melody. And so since we've parted ways with Mitch, and we've been, by the way, still love Mitch, great guy. Since we've been writing for one guitar, I've been able to focus a lot more on kind of tailoring the sound, on sounding full with one guitar instead of relying on two guitars to fill out the mix. So it's a lot more riff based.
Yeah.
There's a lot less leads.
I find the
and-
style that you guys play, it's tailored towards just heavy riffs.
For sure, and it's made the sound heavier because I don't know why. It's just more fun to play rhythm,
Yeah.
and so taking the lead guitar element out kind of means the rhythm guitar has to be stronger.
Yeah.
Because it's all there. Like the only guitar is rhythm guitar.
Yeah.
So the rhythm guitar has to be really like good and interesting. So
That's
yeah,
to make
it's-
people move, right?
Yeah, and it's for definitely one of our priorities is having fun live, and it's way more fun to play live shows when everyone else is having a good time too. I mean, we could go up there and just make music that we think is cool that everybody else just gets to stand and watch. But
Yeah.
it's definitely a goal of ours to kind of get people involved and get everyone moving around and having
Well,
fun.
you're feeding off their energy too, right?
Exactly.
You know, you see what you're doing is making someone else feel something, or just dance around and just crowd kill. But that's what
Yeah.
music's about, man.
Yeah,
It's like
our favorite shows are when other people are getting into it and moving around, and
Yeah.
it makes us play better because we're having fun, and that's what it's all about.
yeah, it does seem like you guys have fun up there. You're all jumping around
It is
and kicking.
a lot of
and-
fun.
Yeah.
I mean, I was saying even before we started how sick I've been all like for 2 weeks, and all that just melts away. Like I felt great for the 15 minutes we were up there,
Yeah.
and now I'm back to feeling like shit. So like
It's that adrenaline too,
Yeah,
right?
it's adrenaline.
Yeah.
It's a great escape. It's
Oh,
I don't know.
it's cathartic as hell, man.
Yeah.
It's just like playing music, like is just
especially
It's an interesting thing. It's a
Especially
very
when I'm out
interesting
there
thing.
now that like I'm writing the lyrics, because before they had a lot of lyrics on
Yeah.
the earlier stuff. Everything was written beforehand, and I had nothing to do with. I would just go up there. Now that I'm actually singing stuff that I wrote and care about, it means a lot more.
You're going to care more about it
Yeah,
because
exactly.
you know it's
just
you,
like,
right?
I don't have to act.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we were talking about that before. It's super authentic, right? It's
Yeah,
just
exactly.
this is you, and it's not this is just someone else wrote this or whatever, right?
Exactly.
So I always find that interesting when people have songwriters for them. It's like, well, man, how are you supposed to get like a really good performance when it's like,
The money.
yeah, that's just it. It's, yeah,
The money
I
pays for those acting skills.
yeah, you are not wrong. Yeah, the money would definitely, definitely pays. That's funny. So you guys like tour the States a lot. How important is that for a young band, or especially even a Canadian band trying to get south of the border and, like we said, more eyes, more ears? Like, how important is that for a band?
Like how important is crossing the border
Yeah.
when touring? Pretty damn important. Just because Canada is a relatively small population spread out over a giant landmass, so the amount of driving you have to do to play
Ridiculous.
to a lot of
Yeah.
people, like,
Especially
just-
in hardcore.
Oh,
it's just unmanageable. Yeah, especially in a genre that doesn't bring in the money.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're like, I don't know, I don't even know what kind of music is making money these days, but if you're an artist that is making a lot of money just by playing average sized cities, then you can, I guess, make do in Canada. But even still, I mean, America just has so many more people and so much, such a denser population,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
much less driving to reach the same number of people. So if you're trying to tour and get it like self-sustaining the way we are, you pretty much have to go to America. You can't really make that happen in Canada, especially in a niche genre
yeah.
like hardcore.
A lot of there's like a different scene every couple hours of driving in America, whereas here, a lot of my favorite Canadian bands just when they stayed in Canada they broke up because it's way more taxing
Oh.
on you financially and
It's-
physically and mentally.
Unless you're like really planning like really close dates all in Southern Ontario, then you know that's really all
I mean,
I
Exactly.
even if you're doing that, you're going to be playing to the same people a lot of the
Exactly,
time.
yeah.
You're playing Kitchener and Hamilton and Burlington and Oakville and
Yeah.
Toronto and Brampton. Like that's
Maybe
basically all
Barrie.
this. We view that as like the same demographic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like we try to not dilute too much. So, I mean, for us to tour Ontario, like we can get like a solid 5-day run
Yeah.
in Ontario if we want, and then like that's it.
Just kind of
for
get
the-
your feet wet, get everything, get the rust
Yeah,
off.
do like a kind of a test run
Mhm.
and then take it in the States. But it is super, super important, in my opinion, to get those visas or do what you can.
Yeah.
Get down to the
Well,
States and
it's
play
a
to
way
everybody.
bigger market, like you said.
Yeah.
But see, that's the thing is the visas are so expensive.
Oh,
like,
I couldn't
And
imagine.
it's
I
only
would-
getting worse.
It's absolutely.
They're making it harder, more expensive, more like.
And they want
they're-
every reason to say no, you're not allowed.
Yeah, they're starting to demand. Soon they're going to start demanding social media accounts from everybody and things.
So they
like
can
that.
go through your social media and see that you didn't blast
Yeah.
Trump.
yeah, we're gonna be fucked if that.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of us here are very
I'm clean.
political.
I'm
yeah,
good. I
post
stick-
a lot of like political stuff nowadays, so I feel like
definitely-
Trump would not be happy.
I keep it to just
Keep it
what
PG?
I eat. Yeah.
Yeah.
What I eat and, where I'm lifting.
what you lift, yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, we're
That's funny.
fingers crossed that doesn't actually affect us. 'Cause
I feel like if you just pay the money, there's not going to be an issue. But if you've got like one little thing off,
I wish you
or,
were
like,
right. I
Our-
wish you
Really?
were right
our
because we
expe-
dump a bunch of money into those visas and there's still delays and there's still I don't know.
Ugh.
I feel like we've had good luck at the
Yeah.
border relatively. Coming back is always when we get hassled. Like that's when they make us like get out and line up and the
And
sniffer
they
dogs come
they
out. but
sniff everything.
America,
yeah.
it's usually a matter of like we give them all this paperwork. We have a nice like binder that
Yeah.
looks all professional. And then Adam tries to make them laugh, and that sometimes works and sometimes doesn't. But
You just gotta be chill usually. I feel like if people are agitated and get frustrated
Yeah.
and they
Then they
give
have
them
a
a
reason.
reason, yeah, exactly. They give them a reason, and it's just like,
I mean, the last thing you want to do is look suspicious or look nervous. So.
yeah.
We
well,
just roll
that's-
up and try to
yeah.
charm them, and it usually works. We haven't had too many bad. We've never been turned away. at
Well, that's
least.
good.
Yeah.
That'd be
Not bad.
demoralizing. You get to the border and it's like you're about to do this big run, and they're just like, you aren't allowed.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
those guys are. You know what I mean? That happened with the Portrayal of Guilt. They were coming
Oh.
over the border, and some of the members weren't allowed, so they just came as a two-piece. They were like, our drummer and our guitar player can come, so we'll just play with our two guys and do our 3 shows here and go back to the States.
Good for them. That's
Yeah.
pretty bold.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, they
Carry
were
on
doing a
without half
huge,
your band missing.
yeah, they were doing a huge run, but they were only playing one show in Toronto and I think one or two in Quebec. So like there were like 3 shows, whatever. Like
Yeah.
I think they actually ended up getting back over the border the next day. They just tried at a different spot.
Yeah,
Oh,
you can
true.
do that. I mean,
Yeah.
most borders in Canada, there's like another one, like there's Sarnia and then there's Detroit.
Yeah.
It's like 45 an hour or two out of the way maybe, and then in Niagara there's like a few different ways you can try to cross. So I guess you can kind of roll the dice again, but
Yeah.
still that's going to
Oftentimes-
ruin your day. And
I'd be
Oftentimes
so mad.
that can also ruin your chances because if they red flag you and then see
You're
that
never
you're trying
allowed,
again,
right?
you're never allowed
Yeah.
for 5 years or whatever decade.
That would honestly like, and then you literally can't do anything.
Then you
at that
gotta
point.
just
Yeah.
aim for the stars and go to Europe.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's happened to I think No Effects. They got banned from playing the States for
Aren't
saying
they from this?
yeah, they said something stupid in Las Vegas about the Las Vegas shooting,
Oh, shit.
God.
and their promoter called them and was like, "Your entire tour is canceled.
Oh,
no one
no.
is letting you play anywhere." So they just
How
were
are
like,
you gonna
"Okay,"
rag on like a notorious punk band?
for saying
for
something
saying-
punk.
I don't know, man. That's
yeah,
a different story.
yeah,
it's a
yeah,
whole
different story for a different day.
conversation that I don't have time
That's
to
for a
get into.
podcast.
Yeah. So you guys playing in the States a lot. What are some bands that you've seen or played with that people should know about?
Crafter from Massachusetts. I'm gonna go off on this band because I just love them as people so much. They're like my favorite dudes to hang out with. We've had really good, like we have so many good friends in America that we love to play with, and a bunch of them have probably broken up in the time that we've been a band. But Crafter is one that really stands out to me as a band that is playing hardcore but doing it just in the way that they want to do it and not trying to do what's cool or,
Yeah,
or,
they're
right-
not
or
doing-
fit in. They're not trying to fit in. They're they're really putting their hearts into it and they're good at it too. Like it's not like some bands are like the only nice thing you can say about them is that they're putting their hearts into it.
Yeah.
But Crafters also makes amazing music and amazing live show and just such good people to hang out with.
Hell yeah.
We haven't toured with them nearly as much as I'd like. We've done like little weekend runs here,
Yeah.
but even that is like enough to know those are gonna
Just
be lifelong
fills your
friends for
heart.
sure.
Yeah.
No, they're great people with a great
yeah.
message.
We made
Yeah.
real quick friends with them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they like us for God knows what. But I can't say enough nice things about Crafter from Massachusetts. If you're into melodic hardcore, even if you're just into any kind of heavy music, check them out because they exemplify what it's all about.
Yep.
As far as I'm concerned.
Hell yeah.
Who else? I'm trying to think of bands that are
Still around.
like a
Fair.
bunch of good ones have broken up.
Hushed.
Oh shit! Yeah, Hushed is a cool band.
Hushed from Detroit.
From Michigan, good pals of ours.
Sick.
Fortune's Fool was also
Yes.
they were mentioned in
I
that
checked
same
them out.
alt
Oh,
press
yeah.
article.
Yeah,
as us.
yeah,
They
yeah.
were another one of the top 20 bands from
They're
Colorado.
so
They're a
good.
good like kind of thrashy like crossover like
Yeah,
metal
hell
hardcore
yeah.
type stuff. Good people.
It's like when I listen to Municipal Waste, I'm just like, I love the thrash. I love the thrash. It's just like party thrash. It's like the
Yeah.
best thing. I saw them live, and it was just like so much beer. Just so much beer.
Oh man, Peace of Mind.
Peace of
One of
Mind,
my
yeah,
favorite
we
live
mentioned that
bands.
label mates now.
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
proud
One of
that.
my favorite live bands that
I'll have to
I've
check
seen
it out
thus
because I
far.
love when bands are better live than on their record.
Their records are amazing, but just seeing all of their energy and Drew
so much energy. in
fly through the air like he's never touching the ground.
Oh, I
That's
love
wild.
it. Like old HR from Bad Brains. Yeah, but before he just started standing still.
Yeah.
What's funny about that is his mentor was literally like, why are you doing all this crazy stuff? Like, you shouldn't have to do that to captivate a crowd. So he was just like, okay. So
It's
he just
fun, though.
so then you just start standing there. And you just stand
Yeah.
there and not move and would just stand still like a statue and sing.
I see too many bands that are like that. It's just like,
Yeah.
man,
It's weird.
enjoy the music you're up there playing. 'cause then
Absolutely.
it's a lot easier. That's kind of like what I try to do when we're playing a new city. If I'm up there enjoying it, it's a lot easier for checking
If
us
you
out.
if you look like you're enjoying it, I'm probably going to
Yeah.
enjoy watching it, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like
So-
even if they don't like the music, man, a lot of the times people are like, "Yo, that was dope."
Yeah, good
And
energy.
I'm
right?
into that.
Yeah.
I'm into
Yeah,
that just
that's-
as much.
That's a really important point because like the music that we play is for sure not for everybody, and we're very aware of that. But like, at least if we put on like a spectacle,
Yeah.
like at least if we do stuff, if we make it fun to watch,
Yeah.
then I feel like at least there's a better chance that people will have fun, even if hardcore maybe isn't their number one genre. They might just be going out to kind of see what it's about or try something new. Or
Absolutely.
their friends drag them out. That definitely happens. So,
We've played many like
non-hardcore shows.
Yeah, like different genre shows like deathcore and metalcore and stuff like that.
Electro pop.
If you
Yeah.
get, we
I'm
have
about
actually
that.
I'm about
Phoenix.
I like weird genre shows where they're just like,
It's-
yeah, we're just
it's
putting
my
on a bill
favorite.
of whatever.
I love
Yeah.
getting to meet all these new people and somebody like everybody takes something away. Either you like the music or the show, or you meet someone like really good friends I've met from
Absolutely.
bands like that don't play hardcore.
Yeah, there's more music out there. I was like an elitist metalhead when I was a youth.
Worst.
So yeah, so like that was me in like grade
Worst.
10. It was just like Winds of Plague and Meshuggah, and that's it.
Oh shit.
One of
But
those bands.
yeah, so it's
One of
just
those
like
bands is good.
yeah. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. But
Slinging mud.
but I feel like people have like kind of opened their eyes a lot. We talked about that. Hardcore especially, people are drawing so much different influence and bringing it into hardcore.
Oh, yeah.
And making some intense music. Like hardcore, like
I'm finding you
it's-
don't even have to be playing hardcore. It's just like, I mean, some of these bands like Sanction and stuff. I'm hearing so much of like old metalcore and
Yep.
stuff like that. Like, but it's so everybody's so accepting of it because it's just like
it's just good music, man.
It's
It's like
great music.
you look at Turnstile too, man.
Woo!
They're like
That's
they're
the-
just
the
like
people I was gonna
funky,
mention for sure.
poppy,
Yeah.
just like weird.
Yeah, like
they just
weird
do
90s
whatever.
psychedelic rock.
Yeah.
we're living in a good time. We're living in a good time.
That Turnstile album is really, really
Yeah, there was
great.
one. Yeah, it was really good. I remember seeing a bill, and I could not believe that bill. It was Angel Dust, Turnstile, Code Orange, Power Trip, and someone else. But it was just like
The
this.
pop punk band, probably.
Yeah, probably. But
Right.
it was just like all these bands that are now just like headlining shows,
Mm-hmm.
and it was like at Parts and Labor, like way back
damn.
when.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Everyone starts somewhere.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
there's that fucking meme I saw. When was it? But it's like the idea is like, go to local shows because like your favorite band was a local band at one point, and like
Yup.
it's true. Like I've seen you go to see a local band, and then 3 years later they're like headlining these big tours, and it
Yeah.
happens. I mean, that's how it happens. Every
Yeah,
band
you gotta start
starts
somewhere.
and
Yeah,
Yeah.
boom, absolutely.
If you're going to local shows, then you're gonna catch those bands early, and you'll get to enjoy seeing them develop.
Yeah, and that's always cool. Like you like seeing people that you know and are friends with, like do big things, right? It's
Yeah.
just like you're like, oh, like a proud papa. It's like, oh yes, I see you doing that thing. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So this kind of like segues into the next question. Toronto hardcore. It's been steadily growing and growing and booming.
Yeah.
Talk about how you guys feel about witnessing that evolution and also being part of it.
I feel like I wouldn't. It feels like it's been a revival because I think when all of us were younger, like in our teens, it was really fucking booming. There was a lot of good venues in Toronto. There was a lot of great bands just all over Ontario, not just hardcore, but like when I was a kid, definitely you would see a lot of mixed genre shows.
Oh,
a lot
yeah.
of like indie rock and pop punk and hardcore and metal. Like it was all just kind of
A little bit of everybody.
a really good, healthy scene where it was more about the community than the music almost. I mean, it was about both, but at a certain point, I don't know, venues started closing down and some key bands broke up, and for a while the whole scene felt kind of stagnant. And in the last handful of years since we've been doing this, it feels like it's coming back a lot. There's a lot of good new bands coming
Absolutely.
up and good promoters doing things like
Oh, yeah.
shout out Sally Wolf. all
Yeah,
that stuff.
she's been doing some good stuff.
She is a wonderful,
Killing it.
wonderful human being.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. It feels like it's coming back, and I mean, I guess things happen in waves, and
Everything ebbs and flows, right?
Yeah,
Exactly.
I like to think that we're on the upswing now for just Ontario music scene in general. There's a lot of good bands. Again, not just hardcore, a lot of really good like pop punk and kind of alternative rock bands too. And it's good to see. And I guess we started this band at the right time, and we've been kind of riding the wave upwards.
Yeah.
Ride that wave.
And yeah, I mean, we're gonna hopefully it'll keep going for a few more years before
Yeah.
it.
Well, I don't.
Fizzle
It
out.
doesn't feel like it's going anywhere anytime soon.
It feels like it's still on the upper.
Yeah,
curve,
exactly. It still feels like we're not at that peak yet, and I'm about that.
Yeah, more bands
I'm
keep
happy
coming out.
about
Like
it, yeah.
Jock just started and out in
And starting
London.
Powerbomb is getting
Powerbomb
big.
is
Yeah.
getting fucking big.
They're releasing a new album soon, are they not?
Yeah, I think they got full length coming out.
Yeah, they're playing in
Just-
Toronto soon.
Yeah.
They've
I
been
think they're
doing
playing
a
at
lot.
Roadie soon too. I'm going to that
Yeah.
for
Of course,
sure,
yeah.
buddy.
Yeah. Powerbomb.
I mean, for Ontario bands like, I don't know, Romancer, I want to shout out because again, just like Kraft,
Yeah.
like, some of my favorite people, such a good band,
Yeah.
and they're starting to like tour a lot now, and
Yeah, there's a lot of good like kind of like emo bands. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
the emo scene's been booming. There's a lot of
Yeah, like Nightwell's another one. That was Kurt.
Oh, yeah.
Kurt Cuffey's band before he left, because
say,
I think he moved.
Yeah.
But they're sick. I saw them with Movements and they were tight. Like
Yeah.
Kurt, he did a good job.
Bearings is killing it.
Yeah, they actually
played
Oshawa,
Oshawa, yeah.
Rarity's still going strong.
They just got signed. Rarity. They
Yeah.
signed to New Damage.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
they were.
yeah.
I mean, they were on Rise before. So, I mean, and these are all the bands that I named. I've literally seen them all play in my friend's shed in Brampton years ago. So,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's great to see, local talent kind of take off and get recognition.
Absolutely. So, last one.
Oh.
Good.
Yeah, my
I gotta
my throat is starting to hurt too.
I'm out of breath.
What's next for Cold Shoulder? Like, what's kind of the next step for you guys?
Put out almost a full length. We're not sure yet. We got a lot written.
A new record of some kind, and it's gonna be really good, whatever it is.
Yeah.
we've
'cause
got we've
had
got this
per-
focus
yeah.
thing down. We're like between Geoff and I,
Mm-hmm.
and we know what this band is going to be now.
Yeah.
And
We all
it's-
know each other's abilities at this point. Like,
Yeah.
we know exactly how to kind of push each other and get the most out of what we can do.
Sweet.
And also, like, we know how to write material that everybody will enjoy.
Fair.
Yeah.
There's not really any tug of war. It's kind of like, I feel like everybody's pretty stoked
Yeah.
when we're
Yeah.
making new material. So
He sits in his lab, makes a song, sends it our way. I write some rap lyrics to it, and then scream it.
Yeah. Yeah.
we don't know when yet, and we don't know how long, but there will be. The next Cold Shoulder record is going to be really, really. I think it's going to be something that we're proud of. I mean,
That's awesome.
it sounds cocky to say, but I just know that we're going to take time and make sure that
Yeah.
we're stoked on whatever we come up with. So.
Yeah, no sense.
If you
putting
don't
it
have that
garbage.
mentality, though, then what are you even doing,
What's the
right?
point?
Yeah.
You want to think it's the best. You want to be super proud of it, right? So it's like,
Yeah, you wanna
I
push
like
yourself.
hearing that. That makes me excited to hear it, right?
Good.
So yeah,
Yeah,
man.
and then there will be just some more runs here and there. I think this Florida trip is going to be probably the biggest tour that we do this year in terms of length.
Yeah.
But I mean, we'll still
It's like
be
what,
out there
2.5
doing stuff.
weeks.
This one's
3
only
weeks.
like a week.
No, it's a little over a week.
Yeah, I think it's
Maybe.
I
over.
think it's
Honestly,
it's,
I just get in the bus and then I'm like, hey, when am I going to be home by? And I'm just
Yeah.
like, oh.
Where's our next destination?
Yeah, I think it's like a little over a week, and
Mm-hmm.
that'll be the longest we do this year, and we'll start to focus a little more, put out the record, and then like
I think writing is going to be the priority this
Yeah.
year, but we will still be
Writing,
active. You'll
yeah.
still see us,
But then once the
doing
record's
runs here
out,
and
then
there.
it's just promote the record, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Just get on the
that's
road.
back
and-
on the treadmill.
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But we'll do it at a little more sustainable rate, and
So you don't burn out.
Not burn out.
Yeah.
Make sure the money's there.
Yeah, definitely
boom.
pacing ourselves. From now on, pretty much. I mean, now that we have.
Well, you made
a
the
label
mistakes
backing
early,
us.
right? So
I
Yeah,
wouldn't
it
call
was-
them mistakes.
yeah, it
I was
was-
just
it
saying,
was
like,
just- you have to-
otherwise we wouldn't be at the level.
Yeah.
Not that we're at some great, massive level now, but
We hit a milestone, like we said, and
Yeah.
it's we feel like we can
We
kind of
earned
just
that.
keep the momentum going and
Yeah.
not have to grind ourselves into dust.
yeah. Otherwise,
So-
we'll start resenting each other for being broke and angry and hungry all the time, and
you can only eat ramen so much.
oh my god, you don't even know.
Like I honestly have been there, and I can't eat. I have a hard time eating it now because I'm just like, no. My taste buds just reject.
yeah, I know. MSG.
yeah. But anyways, thank you so much for chatting with me, guys.
Anytime.
Like
Yeah,
I
thanks for
really.
having us.
Oh. I always like talking to good people that not just like you said.
Well,
not-
you're in the wrong place.
yeah. But like you said, it's like when good people are doing good things. You know what I mean? So it's
Yeah.
it's cool to see. So thank you again for talking with me, and good luck on your tour at the end of the
Oh,
month.
yeah.
And I'm sure we'll see you guys around.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.